Here is your host, Bob Sandards Standards.
I'm Bob Sandards Standards. Welcome to Win a Day. Select Win a Day.
Contestant number 1. Where would you take me on a first hot date?
What would we do on our first date? Well, first off, ho, I'd take you out some fancy ass motherfucking restaurant. Roll up in there, all OG out. Go in there, say what's up, bitches. I wanna rob you.
Contestant number 2. How about the same question for you?
Something's telling me. First of all, I would dazzle her. I would dazzle her with my beauty. Then we would sit at McDonald's and we would argue for hours over who was more wonderful. And then I would choose me over her every time.
Being an old person fan, I like to read AARP weekly. What kind of magazine do you like to read? Contestant number 1.
Magazine? What kind of question is that? Only magazine I read is that I break my weed up on.
As I said earlier, too, how about you, contestant number 2? What do you like to read? Magazine?
There are no magazines in glaciers.
If we were on a Sexy Brenda date, and a guy just so happened to come and gander upon these beautiful lumps of madness, what would you do if he tried to pick me up?
If he did that, first of all, I would get very, very angry and full of anger as well. Then I would cast a secret spell upon him, which turned him into an 8-legged frog, and I would smack his bottom and send him flying into the universe. That's what I would do for you.
Contestant number 1?
Listen, bitch, if you're lucky to get a second date, which you probably won't, I'll just tell that motherfucker, you want her, you take her. $50.
If when we make whoopee and after we're done, what would be the first thing you say to these melons? Contestant number 1.
Be like, bitch, hit the dough. Get the out.
What about you, contestant number 2?
I would look her deep into the eyes and say,
hypothetically, where would you see us and these babies too in about 20 years?
In 20 years, bitch, in 20 minutes, me and you gonna be in the back room when this shit's done. But you ain't gonna be with me in 20 years. I'll be living it up.
Contestant number 2, how would you react to the same scenario?
20 years? A beautiful 20 years it would be. I see us dancing in a fragrant meadow with Cinderella wearing her diamond shoes made of beautiful rainbows while eating moon cheese.
Due to the answers given, I must make a decision. And my decision is contestant number 1.
Yes. Oh, I knew my calculations were right. I knew if I acted hard and gangster, it would one day help me get a girl. I could move out of my grandma's basement. No more Warcraft. Not for me. Nope. of Win a Date. This has been your host, Bob Sandards Standards. Good night. Bob Sandards Standards here. We're here with the losing contestant. Contestant number 2, Mick Gishan. Mick Gishan, how do you feel about your loss today?
Well, first of all, peace out. Have with whoever you want to have with as long as they do. Peace.